Welcome to At the Nurses Station, a podcast for nurses about everything except the patients. Sam and I are here today. It's been a while since we've chatted. I haven't been working, so this is the only way we've been seeing each other. So we've been catching up a little bit. I'm actually loving not working, but I was telling you, it's making me really tired. I feel like my body's like, you're not at work, so you should probably just sleep 24/7 and do nothing else.
I think the weather probably hasn't helped you with that either. It's nice today, but I think it's just so dark.
Yeah,
that-
I would actually love a good rainy day. That's my favorite day ever. And it has been too sunny and it's been upsetting me.
I think it's supposed to be like 80 today.
I know.
78 or 80. I know. I want to be outside. I keep asking my children if we can ditch their activities so that we can go walk in the forest. To which they have all said, "No, do we have to?" Like, okay, well.
Do you cancel lessons like just because you want to? I do all the time.
No, it has to be for no, I don't, which is why I was looking for my children's approval, which is not something that I do on the regular. Yeah, because we have this, and then we have a fiddle lesson, and then we have fiddle club. And so I was trying to get out of fiddle club, but my middle son really enjoys hanging out with other children that fiddle.
Well, God bless him.
Yeah, so we're going to go do that.
Yeah, I'm kind of awful. I'm always like, you don't look like you're feeling very well. Should we just stay home?
Sweet Philip is trying to figure out how to fit it in, though. He's like, well, we could go do this hike really fast. I'm like, no, I don't want to be rushed.
I want it my way.
That's exactly right. But I have been very productive today. I've made barbecue sauce, ranch dressing, chocolate sauce. I have yogurt currently cooling down right now. And then regular dinner things. I also went to Winco and went crazy in the bulk section. So I got all of that jarred and organized. Yeah.
Do you get the peanut butter dip or sauce or whatever it is from Winco? One of our friends went there and said that you can get these like roasted peanut sauce.
I don't know anything about that, but in the bulk section, you can like have like peanuts like freshly ground into peanut butter. And we get like a little thing of that. We don't eat a lot of peanut butter. That's just because the kids.
That must be it. It's just peanut butter, but I don't know. She was raving about it. So
I hear that it's it's like peanut butter. I don't know. It is what it is. But so I guess I could have given up all of my projects this morning, but by the time I realized it was going to be warm and not cold, that time had come and gone. So unfortunately for me, I have a quick question for you.
Yeah.
Do you have feelings about hypnotists?
Hold on just a second. You keep banging something and it's like echoing on your table. Yep.
Okay.
It just normally doesn't do that.
I don't know why that's a good.
Yeah. Like that's everything that moves is like a big echoing bang.
Okay, hold on. Because if it does it it's like barely even audible to me, so it must just be the way the microphone is. Well, hold on. Make me take my cute little potted plant down. That's just me hitting my elbow really hard on the table.
But that was not echoey like the other way.
That wasn't. It's like a metal cage. That's probably why. Okay, go
ahead. I have been hypnotized, which I'm sure will not surprise you. And I believe in hypnotism. Please ask more questions.
Well, I think that hypnotism is real, which is not something that has always been true in my life. So, did you have a hypnotist come to your high school?
No, this was at a bar.
That seems even riskier.
It was. Okay. They made me into Britney Spears, and I sang Oops, I Did It Again in front of the entire bar.
Was there anyone there to keep you safe and not have you walk out of the bar with this person?
Yeah, my parents were there.
Okay. Oh my word.
Okay, moving on. Why was there a hypnotist at your high school?
This is like a normal thing that happened in our schools. Like they would come and do like shows
Oh.
at our high schools like once a year, I feel like. Which brings me to I don't feel like it's appropriate. Like if hypnotism is real and these people can really hypnotize high schoolers, what if one of them is a creeper and like hypnotizes some girl to like meet him somewhere else or like I don't know. No?
Well, what I have heard about hypnotism is that they cannot make you do something that is outside of your like personal boundaries. So they can't make you do something like immoral that like you deeply feel like against.
Why? Because they say that they can't?
I don't know, it's something about your subconscious, like they just tap into your subconscious and they can make you do like silly and goofy things, but like they can't make you murder someone. Otherwise, we
Hmm.
would see that as like a defense to a lot of things.
Hmm. I guess I feel like that's like how genies say that they can't make anyone fall in love. It just is like a random rule that's placed in there for
For
that's
Disney's purposes.
okay. This came up because I was listening to someone from the Red Cross and they made the statement that high school is their biggest donor and that they have 2 drives a year. And I was like, you know what? I don't think that I donated blood in high school, stood in line because it got me out of like 2 periods.
Mhm.
Um, but then I was like, I don't know that I think that that's okay that you like go to a place where I don't
For
know.
donating blood or for hypnotism?
Well, I'm just saying that was the original thought that I had was about donating blood. I definitely don't think the hypnotism is okay because that seems risky, not safe. But I think that there's something weird about like people wanting blood
I al
donated.
I will say about the hypnotism at high school, I feel like kids are already at such a high risk of, like, making fun of each other and feeling uncomfortable that to put people in that position to make fools of themselves, maybe not the best idea.
Hmm,
But I've
okay.
also never heard of it being done at high school, so maybe you just went to a
Really?
weird high school.
I don't I don't think so.
Oh, well,
I
we'll
think I
have to
went to
find
a
out.
very normal high school.
Yeah, definitely was a willing participant, and it was recorded on a VHS tape. That's how long ago this was.
Amazing.
And my parents still have it. So we might have to find a VCR at some point and watch that ridiculousness
Well, I mean, I definitely think acting like Britney Spears is well within your personality.
for sure.
So that seems
I
real.
actually got really upset because I couldn't remember my lines. And so I was on stage and I was supposed to be Britney Spears and I didn't know all the lines. And so, like, you can see me on stage, like, upset because I thought I was failing at being Britney.
Oh, poor you, Kelly, because you
No,
weren't allowed to practice.
I wasn't, and I'm a perfectionist, and if I'm gonna be Britney, damn it, I'm gonna be the best Britney you've ever seen.
I believe that for sure. Okay. Well, there you go. You think about the blood drive one and get back to me. That's just
Okay,
a little been sitting in my mind. But anyway, we're gonna talk about something completely different today, again,
we
which
are.
is triage.
I know, so we
Um,
had this recorded, and we posted it maybe, I don't know, 6 weeks ago,
mm,
probably.
yep.
Um, I never really listened to it because I don't always go back and listen to our episodes, but you were not happy with the audio, and so you pulled it down, I think, like
I
12
did.
hours in.
Yeah.
So
So,
some people may have already heard this episode, but we're gonna do it in our own new style.
I mean, that we could even recreate it perfectly if we wanted to. Sort of the problem. Yeah, dedicated listeners to the show may recall an episode called "Surviving the Penalty Box," which was up momentarily and then taken back down quite shortly. So it's about triage, which, if you are a healthcare provider, you know exactly what we're talking about. If you're not, you also know exactly what we're talking about. You just might not know the name, and that is I think it's really only in the ER for the most part, and it's just that first nurse that you hit. We call that triage, where we decide what priority you are going to have in our department and what amount of time, resources, and personnel you get to have right off the jump compared to everyone else in the ER. So, yeah, we're going
Yeah,
to walk
and
through.
it doesn't matter how nice you are to us, even though it does not hurt to be nice to us.
Oh, does it not matter?
Well, I mean, in really reality, it shouldn't, right? Like, we should
Mhm.
see people in order of the sickest. But if you come up and you are just already not nice to me, hmm, good luck.
We're gonna circle back around to this. First of all, I'm gonna ask you, we did this before, but I think you thought it was fun. So, well, now you know the answer. Do you remember what, the word triage means
No,
or
but I
where it comes?
remember you pronounced it Trier.
I think that's how you say it, trier. I think,
Yeah, I did it
T-R-I-E-R.
with a little
Yeah, you
R
got it.
roll.
Trier,
Yeah.
trier. Yeah, it's from 18th century, so the 1700s, and it just means to separate out. So it's nothing fancy. In World War One is when it got kind of its more cultural term to be in healthcare and sort. It was sorting injuries on the battlefield, which is how we use it now, right? So we sort into depending on what would you say what level you're using. We could do sick, sickest, sick, sicker, sickest. Is that what it is?
Yeah, somebody's always sick, which I disagree with, but that is what we're taught is that starts with sick. You have to
Starts
assume
with
they're
sick.
sick.
Yep. And then what we use pretty much every ER uses ESI. So when you hit the ER, you get ranked 1 through 5. And, I guess it depends on what you want. If you're worried about your ER visit being wasted, you definitely want to score 3 or higher. If you don't want something bad to be happening to you, you would like to be 3 or lower, I think. So I might separate that out. But if you're a 3, 2, or 1, good job. You really need to be in the ER, and we are happy to help you. If you are a 3, 4, or 5, there's a real good chance that you are going to either waste your copay or you're not funding this visit because you do not need to be here. So
Yeah. I think I wanted to rename this episode Why Have I Been Sitting Here for 8 hours? And if you have ever sat in an ER for 8 hours, maybe just take a listen and you might find out why.
you might find out why. Yeah. What else do we want to talk about in that sense? Ones, I think that there's I don't think I would say misconception to those who don't agree with me on this point, but there's definitely two views. I feel like ones are only patients that are actively coding. So what I say to like our like little newbie nurses that we have or nurse techs is that you'll never ever see me triage anyone as a one because I'm not touching the computer anymore. Maybe I'll fill it out later, but a one is a patient that I've stopped doing anything on the computer for, and I'm physically moving this patient from the lobby to our trauma bay, and
Mm.
that's the only thing that I give a one to. Everything else is a two. Uh, so I
No,
don't know
I
how you
think
feel.
that's accurate. It's if I don't do something right now, you are going to be dead or you already are dead
Yeah,
and I need to try and bring you back to life.
yeah. I think the confusion comes with like a two, because I would say like a DKA is a two, like an asthmatic that's still breathing and alert, but is like in status is a two. Those are all patients that if I don't intervene right now, you will get worse, I guess is how I would phrase it, but you're
Very
not
quickly.
already dead.
Yeah, very quickly though, right? Because a lot of our patients, if we don't intervene, you'll get worse. But there's an
Yeah,
immediacy to it.
that's what I mean. Like if I don't intervene right now, you don't have any time left
Yeah.
to go. Yeah. And then threes are just about resources. Like I'm just going to have to do a bunch of stuff for
Well, and
you.
I think back to twos that if you're sitting in the lobby and you're watching someone being whisked back, they may look totally fine to you. There
Mhm.
might be something that you don't know underlying of why we're getting them back right away. They
That's
might
true.
be a sickle cell patient or an oncology patient or a heart transplant or something like that.
Mhm.
And just one symptom that they're having, it makes them extremely high risk.
And I think that you're absolutely right. And I appreciate you pointing that out. One is very narrow. Like there are very few patients that qualify for the one bucket.
Mhm.
Two, I feel like is slightly more broad. And usually we would, I don't know, I term it like a soft two. So just like you're saying there, what would be a good example? I guess a sickle cell patient that has a fever
Mhm.
that looks good otherwise and isn't having any pain. It's like, well, you technically meet the qualifications, although I'm not overwhelmingly worried about you presently. But if like a sickle cell patient came in that was febrile and having specific pain and their vital signs were all out of whack, well, that's kind of the same symptoms and a lot of the same patient, but very much a two because something is actively happening right now. So,
Mhm. Right.
yeah, something different. Um, yeah, and then threes, abdominal pain, chest pain. I don't know what else is like a three that we get, but
Well,
it's just
chest
something.
pains can be a 2 too, but, um,
I guess that's true.
we live in pediatric land where chest pain isn't always meaning of an MI. Um, but yeah, 3s are where the majority of the ER lives. It means that you're having these acute symptoms that are causing you problems. You don't know what's going on, and we're going to have to dig deeper. We're going to have to do imaging or labs or something.
In order to rule out whether or not you actually have like a pathophysiology that requires further medical intervention, it's going to actually take us a bunch of resources to sort it out. It's not that you need resources to live, it's that you need resources for us to figure out what's
Right.
happening. Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing that we always have to explain to people, the difference between or what I explain to, like, new nurses, the difference between the ER and, like, say, a clinic is if you
Mm,
come in with symptoms in the ER, we assume the worst and sort those out first. So, like
absolutely.
so if you come in with chest pain, you're gonna get an EKG right away,
Mhm.
right? If you go into a doctor's office and you're having big chest pain, they're probably gonna put you on some Prilosec and see how things go. Like, you have to prove to them that you're sick. You have to prove to us that you're well.
That's true. I think I usually phrase it to the parents when they're asking like why we're doing stuff. I'm like, well, I want to knock off the low level things that are easy to prove first, which is why you're always going to pee in a cup for me. And I want to figure out like we have to get whatever's going to kill you first off of the table.
Mhm.
So if you have a new onset headache, the chances of it being like a tumor or something or a bleed pretty low, but it's non-invasive and relatively easy for us to get. So like you get to go get a CT because that's what's going to kill you first. I don't know.
Mhm.
Easy
Yeah.
to do. Um, I think that that's pretty. What else do I like to say to them? There's nothing like a gunshot wound through the front door to clear a lobby. That's like my favorite thing. That'll
Yep.
get everybody that doesn't need to be there to go.
Well, that's the frustrating thing is that if you have a lobby that's not moving, you have, 20 people on a good day just sitting there. Um, they get very frustrated watching the triage process because nobody's going back except for like maybe one person an hour who they have no idea why that person was picked, but they have
Yeah.
no idea what's coming in the back door. You don't know the ambulances that have come in. You don't know the psych situation, which unfortunately trumps a lot of things.
Yeah.
Um, and so, yeah, that's the difficult part of sitting out there.
So, as a triage nurse, do you feel like it's part of your job or your responsibility to explain that or make those maybe excuses isn't the right word, but like say that to the people in the waiting room?
I think you have to, but you also have to be really careful about what you say because we have this wonderful law called EMTALA,
Mhm.
which means that we cannot discourage care in the
Mhm.
emergency room, and we can actually be held legally liable if people leave because they feel like we told them they don't need to be there.
Okay, okay.
So you have to be very what's the word? Careful about what you say. And some triage nurses, I think, do a really good job of explaining. We definitely want you to be seen. We think you need to be seen, but we have to pull back whoever's the sickest first. And right now, we just have no rooms available. If your symptoms change, please let me know. Here's what I can
Mhm.
do for you out here, um, and go from there.
Well, I guess I never thought of it thought of it as discouraging. I wouldn't say like you say it in a way that's like, we're taking care of sicker patients than you. So like maybe
Sometimes you wanna say that.
reconsider your choices. No, I guess to me, it just feels so like excuse giving and mm, grovelly that I hate doing that. I don't like doing that at all, having to like say, "Oh, well, I'm so sorry. We're like so busy taking care of patients in the back and we'll get to you as soon as we can." I mean, I guess saying that is I don't know, I feel like there's a mood that I get in and there's like a way of saying it that I feel like I'm having to apologize for us doing our job when we're working really hard, and I hate that. I
I
don't
will
like that
say though,
feeling.
being on the other side of it, when you're sitting there and you're waiting to be seen or your loved one is waiting to be seen, um, it does feel like forever. And
Yeah.
it feels like nothing's being done. And we know the other side of it. But even being a healthcare provider, when you're on the other side of it, it's like, seriously, what the F is going on back there?
That's true. Because then being on the other side, you also know that there's some people that are not doing their job
Hmm.
that's causing it to be slow. Yeah, I mean, like, when you're just at a standstill and you're in triage, I would love to, like, read my book and sit there because, like, I don't have anything to do, but I do feel like that's just a bad look,
Yeah,
you
it
know?
gives the wrong
It
tone.
it does, even though we all know that, like, there's nothing you can do as like, your job is to be glued in that chair. Um, yeah, the perception is like, "Oh, you're not doing anything,"
Right.
and that's hard. Okay, so about being glued in the chair and not being able to go in the back, how does that how do you like that?
Oh, like watching the board
Mm,
um, gives me a little bit of anxiety,
'kay.
where I sit there and I watch all the people that, are not moving, and I know what's probably happening back there, and I know how quickly it could possibly be moving.
Mm.
Um, drives me a little crazy, so I'm just gonna say I try not to look, maybe. I try and just separate myself a little bit.
There is something about being in triage that makes me feel like I can do it better. Whatever it is that's happening in the back, which is why I can't look at it either. Because 'cause I'm like, "Ah, there's a discharge. Ah, there's a med given. Ah, there's a dirty room." But obviously, everyone in the back is taking care of a bunch of other people and doing a bunch of other things, and you have no idea if that patient was put up for triage and then the parents wanted something else. You're waiting for antibiotics from pharmacy, or the provider changed their mind, or, like, they put them up
Right.
for triage when they weren't or for discharge when they weren't recovered yet. Like, there's all sorts of but there's something about being in the triage seat that I'm just like, "If I was back there, I would just get it all done, and then I would
Yeah,
have room."
it's just this, like, separated overseer where it's
Mhm.
just like, "Why
Mhm.
have you not done that order yet? I've been watching it for 10 minutes." And I have everyone staring daggers at me. That's the part I don't like is
Yeah.
being we call it the penalty box because you're in a glass booth and
Mhm.
the entire lobby just stares at you. And
Mhm.
when somebody comes out and calls a name, it's like they all look at you like, "Why didn't they call me next?" And then they like to line up and say, "Do you know that I've been here for 2 hours?" "Yes,
That
I
is
am
you
well aware."
that's not what they say. They say, "So when do I get to" what is it? How do they say? "How
"Do
much
you know
longer
how
is it
much
gonna be?"
longer?" Yeah.
Yes. I'm just like, "No. Do you know how much longer I have to be here? Answer that question for me, 'cause I am also curious."
Well, and I would love to give you an answer, but that's not how it works. If
Oh,
you wanted an appointment time, you needed to call your doctor's office.
and just trust me, if I felt like you were critical and not gonna make it through waiting in the lobby, you would have a bed. That's kind of just that's that I guess that is what I would like to, like, say to the world maybe is like, I'm reasonably good at my job, like, you can trust me for the I would say, like, you can trust me as a nurse, I'm good at it. I'm not perfect or without fault, but I know my resources and I know my people. If
Yeah.
I really am worried about you, I will go fight to get you a room in the back. Like, I will be annoying and I will piss people off and I will get you in front of a doctor. I promise you that.
Now, I will say on the flip side of that, we do get these ridiculous level 5 patients in where a level 5, so we didn't really talk about 4s and 5s. 4s means you need Tylenol or you have an earache and you might need an antibiotic. Things that you certainly could go to urgent care for. Um, 5s are really, you don't need to be there at all. So we get some level 4, level 5 patients in that we then get them back very quickly because we know it's a quick turnaround and we can see them in a hallway bed. So that's the other thing that the world
Mm.
sees and does not understand is that, yes, you could be a possible appendicitis and I do need a bed for you, but there's 3 hallway beds open that I can get very um, low level patients in and out of quickly. So you'll see those people jump the line. And that also gets daggers because they don't understand that process.
Yes. 2 points there. I think not all beds on the other side of the doors are created equal.
Mm.
So be careful what you wish for, because if you get in a hallway bed, um, you're literally sitting in the hallway of the ER, and I wouldn't even wanna sit there, quite honestly,
Mm.
as a staff member. But you will get in front of a provider. And 2, I think that's a calculated risk that only can be done when you have certain nurses available, certain providers available, and you know what you're doing with the patients that you're picking.
For sure.
Because trying to pull your low levels to your hallway beds can put you underwater and behind the 8 ball real fast. So
Sure. Like when I'm in charge, I typically will just take the hallway bed. So it'll just be like, I can't stand seeing this backup happen. So let's room these 3 people and I will be taking care of them and being charged for the next hour. And that's fine. Um, but sometimes, yes, people get put in hallways and then they just get forgotten about.
well, I meant more like you have to have the kind of provider that you know what they're going to do with whatever type of patient.
Mm, yes,
'Cause you
that's true.
could end up with, like, a workup in the hallway or an observation in the hallway or a provider that doesn't take more than a certain number of patients at one time. Like, they're like I just anyway,
Yes.
it's a calculated risk, so
Well, and again, like when I'm putting people in a hallway, that's usually a conversation I've already had with my provider of like,
yeah,
how do you feel about this? Or sometimes they'll see patients out in triage booths, which I know a lot of ERs do that,
yeah, I do
trying
like
to clear the lobby.
mhm. Um, okay, so you're out there by yourself. You're a one-man show. How is that different than the other assignments that we have in the ER? And, I don't know, how do you feel about that?
Um, well, I will say that I play triage like a game.
Mm.
Um,
Mhm,
I
mhm.
want to get the information from you as quickly as possible and get it entered into the computer as quickly as possible so that I can go
Yeah.
enter and see like 3 minutes. And it just gives me a little happy dance in my head, because that's the only way I survive. And there is a reason behind that is I wanna be able to triage quickly so that if something serious does come in, they're not 5 people back in line and I don't know what's going on.
Mhm.
Like
Oh, I think when you run a section of 4, you can very quickly, like, be like, "Oh, this is my most critical task. I'm gonna go do that," and then you're a step from the door and something starts blaring. You can go deal with something that you didn't know was going on, but that patient that you were originally gonna go intervene on has other eyes on them, you know what's going on, like, the doctor has seen them. In triage, what makes me so nervous, and I'm with you, I am like, I check my own patients in, get all of the information before they sit down, get it all in. I don't know what's coming up. So if I'm a patient and a half behind every time someone new walks into the ER, it just can get away from you
mhm,
so quickly. And the only way to make sure that it doesn't get away from you is to make sure that is to, what would you say, keep the line and only let it move as quick as one person at a time. But then you could have something critical 5 patients back that
right.
takes you 30 minutes to get to, and that stresses me out. I
Yeah,
don't like that at all.
I know, and that's yeah, I mean, Therein lies triage. Is it
Oh,
could be and it always comes in bursts,
mhm,
right? Like, you won't
mhm.
have anyone check in for 20 minutes, and then you have 6 people all check in at the same time, and you're, like, peeking down the line, like, "Does anybody look dead back there? Huh, hope not."
Hope not. Okay, so then is that the most valuable skill of the triage nurse is
Eyes?
yeah.
Yeah. I think it's well, eyes and time. Like, if you're out there and you're taking more than 5 minutes to check in one patient, I don't want you out there.
Yeah, it's not, well, and it's not a customer service role. Triage
Mm-mm.
is not the place where we're gonna get our, Press Ganey score. Sorry. It's just
Like, you
it
may not like me, but you're gonna like whoever sees you after me.
mhm, mhm, and I mean, it's just not the job of the triage nurse. Okay, so skills of the triage nurse then, definitely, like, time management, being able to get through your questions quickly. What did you call it, like, across the room assessment? Is it really even as
Yeah,
specific
I
as
think
that?
so. I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
You
that sicker, sickest. I mean, I can look at a patient and just be like, "Nope, I'm coming out of the booth," or, "Eh, moving on."
and but I mean, yes, so there's, like, the TNCC across the room assessment, what you're looking for, like, specific, but I think there's a sixth sense too that you have to have honed before you can really go out and win triage.
Mm.
Like, yeah, you have to be able to do that,
And
and
let's talk about that. When do you know that somebody is ready to be in triage as the triage nurse? Because I don't think it's some place that everyone belongs on the same time frame.
well, I think a year is, like, a solid standard. I think nothing before a year, and then evaluate, like, as needed after
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Is that what you would say? Do you think that you need to be trained in triage? Like, specifically oriented to triage as if it's a different role?
yes, yes, I do. Because you also need to know where like all that emergency equipment is around you. Like, you
Mm,
can't just go sit out there and just, the gunshot wound comes in, or you have somebody run in the front door and say, "My friend isn't breathing. Where's your Narcan? Like, where's, you know, your tourniquet? Where are those little things?" Because they're always hidden up there.
I disagree with that example.
Okay.
If any of those things happen, I'm not staying in triage for a second. Not even no. We're leaving. We are
Well,
going
sure.
to
Well, yeah, but don't you want, like, if you have an arterial wound bleeding out in the car, don't you want somebody grabbing a tourniquet for you?
yeah, in the trauma bay.
No. You're just gonna let them bleed while you carry them?
It's gonna take me less time to get them into room 100 than it is to find a friggin' tourniquet and put it on them. Even if I know where it is, it's gonna take me longer. Yeah,
Alright.
yeah,
Alright.
no. But to your point, I think, like, the level 2 emergency stuff, you have to know where it is because that, respiratory cabinet is an absolute mess. But there have been times where I've been in triage and, like, a kid satting in, like, the mid-80s, and I don't have a room to go to, but it's not appropriate to take them to the trauma room,
Mhm.
so you have to put something on. I was thinking more having your triage skills honed. So I think that when people think, "Oh, I need to be trained in triage," all they need to learn is ESI,
Mhm.
like how to give them a triage level, where I actually think maybe you need to go work a shift with, like, a solid triage nurse to see if your gut is correct. Not
Mm.
just with the ESI, but with, like, so you have a lobby full of 3s. Which one are you gonna take first?
Yeah.
Because they're all 3s. Um, and figuring that out, actually.
Yeah. I had, a new nurse with me out in triage just because, um, he needed to work on his, like, speed of triage, and so that was like,
Mm,
"We're gonna go sit out there, not that you're gonna do this right away when you're off orientation." Um,
that's a good
but I feel
idea.
like a lot of new nurses, they get hung up on the questions and the charting, right?
Mm,
Because we love our are hospitals that tell us exactly what we need to chart and in what order and what's most important. And so the new nurses, they get hung up on this like list of questions that need to be asked.
Yeah.
And I had to point out to him, nope, once you look at that child and they don't look well, I don't care in this moment who their primary physician is or what pharmacy they
No,
use. I don't care.
no.
Like, we need to move on. And I feel like that's one of those like low level skills that you like, well, it's probably not a low level, a higher level skill of bringing yourself out of the moment of task to what you really need to do and focus on that patient and where they need to go in that moment. Does that make
Hmm.
sense?
It makes sense. I'm constantly shocked by the things that I don't care about that other people do care about. Like, this happens on a routine basis, especially at work, where I'm like, I don't I don't care about
Yeah.
that. Moving on. If
Yeah.
that's the thing that is gonna make me not have this job anymore, then so be it. But I I do not care.
I know. When do you think we get to that point? Because I feel like I've been there a while where I'm like, oh, I don't do that. I don't.
I
Eh.
know. I don't know either because I really care deeply about a lot of things that no one else cares about. So I might just have been born this way. I don't know.
I pick and choose. I care
Uh,
about what is important. And what is important is what I believe to be important,
right,
not what everybody
exactly.
tells me is important.
Yes, I and obviously the things that I think are important are the correct ones because otherwise I wouldn't have picked them.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay, types of triage nurses.
Mm.
So, we have our God bless them, our, press ganey earning point ones.
Mhm.
I don't wanna call them slow pokes because that's mean,
I
but
was gonna say
there
take forever and wanna listen to your whole story. I don't know.
I mean, there has been one instance where the whole story really, like, made me look like I was a really smart nurse, but ordinarily, I would not have, requested that information from the dad. He just kind of threw it out there, and it ended up being really good. So, there is some value to it. I'm not saying that there's not, but statistically speaking, probably not. There's the game players like us.
Mhm.
I would say, though, that probably the game players don't enjoy triage is not my favorite place to be at all, period.
I don't know. There are times where and it's usually after a stretch on where I'm just over it being in the back and the grind that just throw me out there and I'm just going to sit there and it's just me against the world and everybody just leave me alone. I will
You
do
know,
my triage and we're going to move on.
I'm gonna say this for you, that's a personnel issue, that's not a job issue.
Ah,
Um, and if given the jobs that I want to do, triage is never high because I'm all by myself, and I don't get to do any of the fun work, and it is you can't get triage settled like you can with your section. You are just one sliding glass door opening away from having it all messy again. So
mm. That is true because sometimes I will go out there and I'm like, but I wanted to hang out with my
mm,
friends and nobody comes to visit me and I just sit there and then sometimes it's like peace out. I'm going to go sit out there by myself. Mm,
yeah, and read a book. Well, and nobody cares if there's 45 people in triage.
mm-mm,
Nobody's coming out to help the triage nurse.
no.
That's just you're stuck.
Yeah.
And so, so I don't like triage, but there are some nurses that love it.
Mm,
And what the lobby looks like doesn't affect them at all. And I feel like there usually are more seasoned nurses, if you will.
mm. Yes, I can picture
Extra,
one right now.
extra seasoned. And is it because they just don't care anymore? Like, not in a bad way, but they're just like, nothing
No,
phases
I think there's a hardening that comes through being an ER nurse for generations
them.
of your emotional involvement does
Mm.
not change the outcome
Okay.
whatsoever. So,
Oh,
like, for me to have, like, a lobby full and I'm watching people not getting taken care of in the order or in the timely fashion that I would want causes me personal anxiety. I
mhm.
feel like these people have gotten to the point where they're just like, It is what it is. This is the ER. This is my
Mm.
life. I'm just gonna sit here.
Yeah, and then you get to sit. You don't
Yeah.
have to run around.
Yeah, I wanna be that person someday.
So, have I told you about my Bobby? I think maybe in, like, passing.
No.
She was, we lost her last year, I think. Just an incredible woman, but also it's amazing that she lived as long as she did. So
Is
she's
she your grandmother?
no, no, she was my godmother who,
Okay.
she was a nurse at the hospital that my mom and my dad worked at before they got married, and she taught my mom, like, how to be a nurse and start IVs, but she's like, um, I think she was around when, like, nursing was invented or something,
Sure.
and just had that, like, crazy Australian accent. Everything came out a little, like, snappy
Mhm.
and rough, but she was in the ER for most of my life and spent a great deal of her time in triage because she was, a type 1 diabetic when that was, like, not something that you lived through. And like everyone else in my family, very good at having a good time. So she lived life to the fullest limits. And she used to write poems in triage.
Oh, I love that.
I know she wrote one a few years ago that I thought was so good, and I don't know where it ended up. I should have, like, printed it out and put it somewhere special, but she wrote, like, a really it was funny, like, all of the things that we laugh about, like, all the stupid things and annoying things, but then at the end, it was, like, about, like, really wanting to help people, and being there for them, but every time I think of, like, what does the quintessential, like, just I've been here forever and nothing that you can do, say, or whatever is gonna, like, change my day. I'm like, "Oh, that's what Bobby looked like
Yeah.
in triage."
Oh.
E
Oh, I bet
Mhm.
she was amazing. We should start doing that. We like to make signs and do fun things. We should start writing triage poetry and leave it for each other.
Yeah, I mean, she actually wrote it. She didn't have to have, the power.
AI.
Yes. Yeah, but anyway, that's what like, some of the ones that we have in our department right now that love triage, I'm like, "Oh, yeah, Bobby was a solid triager." Um But then there's also the other side that we listen to, and they're very they roll the, like, "I'm just gonna leave the line as long as it needs to be. There's nothing I can do to make it slow down," which I think is hard to internalize. So, yeah.
Yeah, especially yeah, for certain personality types, I think.
Yeah, it's not my specialty. Okay, I know you wanted to, like, loosely do our old outline, but
Meh.
anything. Oh, I know we're almost out of time. Charge nurse effect on the triage nurse. I do think I hate being in triage if I have a charge nurse that I don't have a relationship with or that I feel like kind of runs a spastic ship.
Mm.
That's hard to be in triage.
I think it's hard to be anywhere with that, but
Okay. Fa fair enough. Yeah.
No. Yeah, triage is its own beast, but okay, if you had to shout something out to the lobby at any given moment, like say it's full, everybody's angry. We aren't allowed to do this in real life, so I feel like we should do it now. What do you wish we could say?
I would say 2 things. I know, and I'm sorry. Probably like that. Yeah,
That's actually perfect. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
I know.
This is the
Whatever it is that
world
needs
that we live in.
I know. I know you think you've been here for 2 hours and you've really only been here for 45 minutes, like, I know, and I'm sorry.
Mhm,
I know you're thirsty, and I'm sorry. I know you're diabetic, and it's not my fault you came to the ER with nothing to eat, and I'm sorry.
mhm.
These are all
No, I mean, a lot of times I just wanna say, "This was your choice," because if it wasn't your choice, you probably would have been seen by now. Well, that's not true. I mean, there's a lot of, there's times where we have people having active MIs sitting in the lobby because there's nowhere for them to go. Um,
Sure.
but,
Mm,
uh, for
I don't think
a
that's true.
lot of people, the ER is not somewhere that you want to go unless you actually need to go.
Yeah, and again, to your point about, like, you can't have a hallway bed, it's just I guess it doesn't really matter if we're talking about economics or politics or the ER. The middle is a really sucky place to be, and again, I'm sorry. Like, if
I know.
you I know, and I'm sorry. If you're in abdominal pain, you can't be seen in the hallway, so I can't see you quickly, and also, you're not imminently dying, so I can't see you in the trauma bay. So you have to wait for one of the rooms to be open so that we can take off all of your clothes and poke you in all sorts of ways and have you wait 2 hours for all your results to come back.
And there's something to be said about being sick sucks. Like,
Yeah.
I can't fix that for you. You're sick and you feel
Oh.
horrible, and I understand that, but I can't fix that in this immediate moment of looking at you through a glass cage.
There's gonna be a day where I'm gonna find myself in the ER lobby on an adult side, heaven help me, with, like, what would be the worst thing? Just, like, a horrible GI bug
Mm,
where you can't stop it from either end, and again, you're not imminently dying, but you clearly can't be seen in a hallway bed, but you need fluids. You might need, like, some IV, you might need some Flagyl, I don't know, something to, like,
yeah.
get it together, and I'm gonna be sitting there kicking myself, being like, "You should have been a nicer person, because here you are, stuck in the middle, miserable as all get out."
Yeah,
It's gonna be a rough day.
it is. It is
It
for all of
is.
us. Nobody
For
wants
all
to
of
be
us.
there.
Nope. So, make friends with your ER nurses people, the ones
Mhm.
that you just meet and, like, your neighbors
Mhm.
and the people at your church or whatever ER nurse you, know, because it's worth having a friend on the inside. That's what
And
I think.
asking if you need to go before
Huh?
going. Like, having someone
Oh,
to ask, like, "Do I really need to go?"
yes. I mean, I will always tell you, "Would I take my kid? No, but if you're worried, you should go to the ER," and I say that because I wanna keep my license.
Right.
Yeah, that is always the answer, but I mean, if you're, like, nice and kind and understanding at the
It does
first
get you
check-in,
away a long ways, yeah.
it can, and I don't say that to, like, try and get us in trouble or get us fired or canceled or thrown in nurse jail or whatever. I think it's more of just a statement of, like, being that way is just a nice way. I say this and I was rude to somebody on the phone because they weren't helpful this morning. And I was like, "Oh, so what? They don't have phones on their desk?" And like, "Well, they just have an email for communication, so if you have a question, you can just send an email." And I was like, "No, but really you can't just send me to their phone number so I can ask them this question?" "No." I was like, "Okay, great, thanks." And it just so I'm
That
not
doesn't
always a
surprise
living
me.
representation of this, but
No,
yeah.
and I'm not saying you're gonna get seen sooner by being
Yeah.
nicer, but you might get, a warm blanket a little sooner. You might, get a nicer, um, explanation. Like, if you're snapping at me, I am not going to I'm not going to feel the compassion to speak very slowly and kindly back.
Yeah. And there are always like above and beyond things that sometimes present themselves that we can either act on or not act on. And it really, depends on my desire to do so.
Mm,
Because we're people too. So it does affect us.
yeah, it doesn't feel good getting yelled at all day.
Mm-mm.
I don't like that, and so you don't either. So let's not yell at each other.
Let's not yell at each other. I'm not a yeller. No, no.
No.
Okay, did you come up with you have horror related questions for
Well,
me?
yeah, so I've been at home, I've been kinda recovering from this procedure, and so I've been watching and it's almost Halloween, so I've been watching a lot of horror and a lot of, real life murdery stuff. So these might have a little bit of excuse me, common things. So we'll just
Oh,
start with this. Do you wanna be buried or cremated?
wait, you're asking me this is like a very religious question, Kelly. Are you aware of that?
Well, it is for some people.
I didn't know that. And then I was in a group of like Catholics and I said
Mm.
something about being cremated and they were like, "Well, then your bones won't rise again and you can't go to heaven." And I was like, "I'm so sorry, what?"
Come
I'm
again?
just a, I'm just a regular little Protestant here. Please be nice to me. I don't know what you're talking about. So, I don't know. I feel like cremation is fine, but I guess I need to like do some research. I don't know.
Well, I have very strong opinions about it as well. Let
Oh,
me tell you.
oh dear. Okay, you go. Go, go.
So, have you heard about like natural burial where you like basically are composted?
I feel like I remember looking at brochures that had to do with like a tree.
Yeah. So, this is like, ever since I found this out, it feels very like right to me because I feel like we being buried in a casket doesn't really sound great to me. And then I'm terrified of fire. So, even though I know that I won't be here, cremation sounds
Uh-huh.
horrible. But I think that it's beautiful to, like, be buried and come back, like, as part of the earth. And
Okay.
so there's this, it's not new, but I guess it's relatively new, where you actually can have your body composted, and then, yes, you can, like, be buried under a tree, and you become part of the earth.
What does it mean to be composted though?
Well, okay, so there's 2 different ways. You can either have just a natural burial where you just bury the body without any embalming, no casket, anything, and
Okay.
there's, like, natural burial sites where you can do that, so your body just naturally decomposes,
Okay.
or there are these places where you actually, like, send the body and they, like, naturally speed up the process of decomposition, like,
Mhm,
and
mhm.
turn you into soil and send, like, a box of soil back.
We should go have a field trip to one of those places.
I went with my mom, and it was actually really beautiful. It felt really peaceful.
Surely they chop you up into a bunch of little pieces and then heat you really hot with a bunch of other dirt because that's what
Oh, I didn't
composting.
go to the composting place. I'm
Well,
sorry. I
yeah.
went to a natural burial, like, plot where it's just, like, in the middle of the woods, and you just have, like, a stone where somebody was. It's almost like a pet cemetery, where
Oh
you
my
just you, like,
gosh.
mark the grave with, like, a rock.
I'm just saying, how do you we have a compost pile, and I mean, stuff that's not chopped up small takes forever to
I think they
compost.
do it with, like, organic material, like bacteria. Like, they put bacteria into the soil that will, like, decompose the body.
Hmm. Okay. All right. Cool. Well, I like that you picked an option that you didn't give me in the original question, so that seems
Yeah,
fair.
sounds
Uh,
about right.
but that is cool. I remember seeing that, like, you could be like a little puck, and then you buried it, like, under a tree
Yeah,
or something, and that was,
yeah.
like,
I just
great.
always thought that'd be cool to, like, go visit, like, my dad as, like, a tree, not, like, in the middle of
Mm.
a cemetery, like, on your
Yeah.
property or something like that.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Okay, so perfume, are
Mm.
you like a one signature scent kind of person, or are you a, like, different scent for different things?
Mm. I usually have a scent of the moment. Um,
Oh,
like, if
okay,
I have a perfume bottle, like, I'm gonna use that for, like, the next year until it's gone.
and then you pick something different.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright.
What about you?
What do you think?
You go all natural, no scent.
Oh, no, I do no, but it's one I think I've only ever I mean, I have a bunch of different perfumes, but I have only ever really, like, worn 2. I used to wear
Mm.
I Love Love, and now I wear something that I found at, oh, shoot, what is that place called? Not Abercrombie, what's the other A one? Anthropologie,
Oh.
that I've been wearing for years, but no, I like the idea of having just, like, a signature scent,
Mm.
so I had my, like, high school smell, and now I have my, like, grown-up smell.
Yeah. I used to really like Clinique Happy. That
Mm.
that was probably, like, my 20s smell that I liked, but, um, okay, I was gonna go down the whole body trail. So,
Okay.
if you had an hour to dispose of a dead body, what would you do?
Ooh, I only have an hour?
Yeah.
Sorry, hold on. I'm waiting to see if what direction this train is going to go. I think they're coming. Do you want to just wait a second? They seem very aggressive with their honghorn. Their
honghorn?
their their horn honking. That's it. But maybe they're done now. Okay. I have an hour to dispose of a body.
Yeah. And we could say, like, in that hour, nobody can see you. Like, it's dead of night or something. So you don't have to worry about, like, you got an hour.
I have an hour.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I would drive somewhere and dump it. I think I don't have a fireplace.
No, and you'd have to chop it up first.
That would take me way more than an hour. I have no idea how to dismember a body. I've thought about that when watching those true crime things, and they're like, and then they dismembered their daughter. And I'm like, who knows how to do that? I can barely dismember a chicken. Like, what? I have no idea.
Yeah, I think I'd drop it in water. And I feel like that's what a lot of people do. I think you weigh it down and drop it in a lake somewhere.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what I would go to. One of the places here with running water and no surveillance in the parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I've never had to do it. So
I know. Hopefully we don't ever have to. But like I said, these are the things I've been thinking about.
Okay. On that note, which Disney villain are you?
Ooh. I gotta think for a second. I'd probably be, I don't know if they're the villain. The guy that creates Stitch. What's his name? Jumba?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't seen that movie in forever.
Oh, yeah, because he created the monster and now he has to try and get the monster back. But the monster isn't really a monster, right? And
Yeah.
then he's like chasing this like evil little creation that he has. Yeah, that's just the story of my life. I feel like I create these little monsters and then I try and put them back in the bag.
Well, I don't really think that's villainy the way that you put it. I feel like all the other villains I thought of are like mean and horrible.
Um,
But
yeah.
well, no, I don't want to pick one. I was like, maybe Ursula, because I don't have a singing voice and I'd really love to take someone's beautiful voice.
Yeah.
Maybe I'd stick with that one. I can't think of, I don't think I'm like Gaston. I can't drink 12 dozen raw eggs every day or lead a crew of whatever
Or have hair on your chest.
or have hair on my chest. I think Maleficent is like a little too evil.
Yeah.
I don't know about.
Unless the movie Maleficent, where she ends up, taking care of Sleeping Beauty.
You know what? Listen, let's talk about that for a second. I reject in its entirety modernity's insistence on giving every villain some sad background story and then trying to make them into a hero. No, a villain is a villain. Sometimes there are dragons and they just need to be slayed. Not everything is someone else's fault. Not everyone had something happen in childhood that makes them into a villain. Wah wah. We just need villains. It's
They make
just.
good stories, though. I really liked Maleficent. It was
Ugh.
a good movie. You didn't like it?
I didn't see it, in all honesty.
Oh,
I'm
well, pish posh. Okay.
point.
Would you rather know how you're going to die or when you're going to die?
Ooh, Kelly, these are horrible
I
questions.
know.
Oh.
This is what I get for watching the Ed Gein story on Netflix.
Was it good?
Oh, it's horrible and good.
I'm a little upset at Channing Tatum. Like, he couldn't have just stayed handsome and dancing for us on
That's
screen.
not
Like,
Channing Tatum.
oh, I thought it was Channing Tatum.
No, it's Jax from the motorcycle show, Sons of Anarchy.
Oh, didn't watch that. Okay, never
Yeah.
mind.
No, it does I mean, they look a lot alike, but that's not Channing Tatum. No, that would really upset me as well because I love Channing Tatum. Okay,
Yeah,
moving
he
on.
just needs to be funny and pretty, that's all I need from
Yeah.
him. Um, I guess when,
Mm.
because it doesn't really matter how,
Mm.
'cause you're just gonna die anyway.
I know if you did the how, it might make you fearful, like, all the time. Because
The
you could
problem
find out that you're gonna die of heart failure, but you could be a young heart failure.
I just feel like there's fairy magic in this question, and if I say when, then I'm gonna be, like, in a coma for 5 years before I actually die, and so the time frame would be off anyway.
Mm.
But if I say how, then yeah, you might, like, be in a car accident and then live as, like, a quad.
Or what if it was, like, peacefully in your sleep? Oh, then you would know, like, every
You
night
oh,
going to
yeah.
sleep.
Yeah, thinking that you'd never wake up. Yeah, I don't this is not I don't like you at Halloween time. I don't like any of this. Oh,
That's
no.
not to know.
Okay, what thing do you do or say that is most like your mother?
Ugh. Sorry, mom, I love you. Um, no, dang it. Okay, I think my mom exaggerates everything, like,
Mhm.
really exaggerates it, like, just off the bat. Lies about things that I don't
Oh
think she,
my
like, means to, but, like, I think she just, like when she tells stories, they're
Okay.
partially true and they're very exaggerated,
Okay.
and I catch myself doing that all the time. I'll be like, but I don't mean to, but it's usually, like, something outrageous. Like, they're offering a 50,000 sign on bonus, and my husband's like, "That's not possibly true," and I'm like, "Yeah, it's probably, like, 10,000, but it sounds better." And I don't even, like, mean to do it, it just flies out of my mouth, and then I always say, I'm like, "That was a little Maggie right there." So,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. I think well, I now say lots of things like my mom used to say 'em, which is, "You're not hungry, you're tired." I say
Mm.
that all of the time. But I think what I, like, subconsciously inherited from my mother the most is my turn. When, I'm done with a conversation or upset or feeling pissy, I have noticed that, I turn around on my one little foot and walk away just like I have seen my mother do 1,000,000
And
times.
I can picture you doing it right now.
So, yeah, I didn't really realize it was a thing until I think it was my husband or my dad that brought it up, and I was like, "Oh." That one that mom did, they're like, "Yeah, you've been doing that." I'm like, "Hmm, curious."
It's not a horrible thing. It's not a bad
Well,
thing.
I mean, there are definitely other things, but, yeah, I mean, there are positive things, I'm sure, too, but, you never think of how you inherit those things.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, okay, you started, so that was the end. We're gonna talk about what are we gonna do next? Moving on, but
Mm.
maybe should we just leave it vague since we've been talking about death? And
Sure.
yeah.
Where are we moving on to?
What kind of moving on are we I realized the other day somebody talked about lost. Oh, I told somebody that we lost our cat this year, and it occurred to me later on that they thought that I meant like we physically lost our cat, and I definitely meant that she died.
Mm.
But it depends on what context you use that phrase in. It can be confusing to people.
Yeah.
I lost my Tamagotchi. Well,
Oh,
I lost it and it also died. So
there you go.
yes.
Yeah. So we're gonna be next week, we're gonna be moving on.
We're gonna
And
be
to
moving
what?
on.
We don't know.
We don't know what's moving on. Who knows? Okay. Well, anyway, we are at the nurse's station with Kelly and Sam. We've been getting really great feedback, I think, personally to like our phones and to our faces. But if you guys would, or if you're feeling generous in this pre holiday season, please like and subscribe on whatever your preferred platform is. It really helps us out. Not that we know how to read analytics, but we'll get there someday. And so we really appreciate you guys listening. I think we'll see you next time at the nurse's station.
Bye.